September 19th, 2012, opening night of the Champions League. Chelsea were the reigning kings of Europe, and Juventus were the undefeated Invincibles of Italy. It was supposed to be a standard night under the lights in Turin, but instead, it became the night a 21-year-old boy humiliated the most legendary defense in football. Earlier that summer, Chelsea signed Brazilian wonder kid Oscar from Internacional for 25 million euros. He was expected to be a sub, but Roberto Di Matteo handed him his first start in the biggest competition on earth. Destiny was already set. Chelsea's new number 10 versus Andrea Pirlo, one of the greatest midfielders to ever lace up. Oscar's first was a deflected effort that put Chelsea up 1-0. Fine. But the second? That shit was art. Oscar received the ball with his back to goal 25 yards out. With one touch, he flicked it around Pirlo like he was a pop-up dummy in training. And before Bonucci could even blink, Oscar was dipping a strike into the far post. Even two Buffons would not have saved that. Gigi Buffon later called it one of the best goals he ever conceded. In 90 minutes, the world realized Oscar wasn't just here. He was the one. See, in 2012, Chelsea didn't just find Oscar. They won a high-stakes game of legal chess. Oscar was already a superstar in Brazil, famously scoring a hat-trick in the 2011 U20 World Cup final. Chelsea's legendary scout, Piet de Visser, the man who discovered Ronaldo and Romario, told Roman Abramovich this kid is the Brazilian Kaká, but with more tactical discipline. Chelsea moved faster than Real Madrid and Barcelona because they helped Oscar settle a massive legal dispute with his former club, Sao Paulo. They navigated the legal red tape, secured a work visa through the London Olympics loophole, and brought the number 10 to the bridge. At the time, Brazil's number 10s had a reputation for being luxury players, brilliant with the ball, but very lazy without it. But Oscar was a pressing midfielder. He had the engine to track back for 90 minutes. Jose Mourinho, wanting to move away from the power and pace of the Lampard-Drogba era towards something more fluid, and he fell in love with Oscar immediately. Mourinho famously said, "With the way I want to play, I want Oscar as my number 10. It gives us more stability." And just like that, Juan Mata, back-to-back Chelsea Player of the Year, who had 32 assists the season before, was benched for Oscar. Mourinho didn't care about the fans' outrage. In January 2014, Mata was shipped to United, and Oscar was handed the keys to the bridge. He was the successor to Kaká, the future of the Premier League, the heart of the Seleção. During the 2014 World Cup, Oscar was Brazil's most consistent engine. While Neymar always took all the headlines, Oscar did most of the heavy lifting. In the opening game versus Croatia, he was the best player on the pitch, hands down, scoring a beautiful outside-of-the-foot goal to seal the 3-1 win. As Arsenal fans know, one is never enough. Then came the semi-final, the 7-1. Brazil walked out holding Neymar's jersey like he died or something, but the horror that followed was way worse. In a 6-minute window of madness, Germany scored 4 times. Miroslav Klose broke R9's record on Brazilian soil. It wasn't a game, it was a national catastrophe. In the 90th minute, Oscar scored a meaningless consolation goal. He didn't celebrate, he just picked up the ball with death eyes. He was Brazil's highest rated player that night, but the weight of the loss aged him overnight. It killed the Jogo Benito risk-taking in his game. He was only 22 and he watched his whole country's soul get crushed. Players were crying while the game was still going on. The fans were in awe. It was just heartbreaking for the entire country. By 2017, Antonio Conte's new 3-4-3 system at Chelsea left no room for a classic 10. Oscar found himself stuck on the bench behind the likes of Conte and Matic. At 25, just entering his prime, Oscar made the most shocking move in transfer history. Shanghai for 60 million euros. To understand why, you have to look at his childhood a little. When Oscar was 3, his father was killed in a car accident. His mother raised 3 kids alone in poverty, selling clothes to keep them afloat. Oscar didn't see the move as throwing his career away. He saw 400,000 euros per week as the key to generational wealth. He famously said, "I think more of my family than my career." He was immediately dropped by Brazil. He went from playing at the Bernabeu to playing in half-empty stadiums in China. But unlike other stars who phoned it in, Oscar dominated. Even when the Chinese Super League's financial bubble burst and stars like Hulk and Tevez had to leave, Oscar stayed. He became a legend in Shanghai, captaining them to 2 league titles and putting up insane numbers. 248 games, 77 goals, 140 assists. 1 goal contribution every single game for 8 years. That is insane. There were flashes of a return with slight talks with Barcelona in 2022, and then a leaked photo in a Flamengo shirt, but Shanghai blocked them all. He was too valuable to lose, and Shanghai could not risk getting rid of him. In early 2026, Oscar was forced into a retirement due to health issues, but we have to ask, was it worth it? He earned over £175 million in wages. His family is secure for 10 generations. He won the Premier League, then the Europa League, and the Confederations Cup. But as football fans, we can't help but feel even a little robbed. He traded a decade of Oscar-class Champions League nights for a bank balance. He wasn't a failure. He was a man who completed football's financial side quest at the cost of his own legacy. Oscar, the boy who gave up being a legend to become a provider. The streets will never forget, but the record books very well might.